Suddenly, the lights went out. The flare started to roar, and everyone's pagers began buzzing. Chaos ensued. We were shut down, and everyone was in a frenzy. Running to double-check the equipment, resetting safety devices, and scrambling to find out what had happened. And there he was, our electrician, the wind whipping around him, standing frozen with wires in his hands, with no idea where the fault was. "Help! I'm up here! It was me! I can't see!" he cried out. The operators responded with disbelief and anger. "What are you doing up there? Are you kidding me? Was that you?" The electrician apologized, but the damage was done. The next 3 hours were a frantic rush to restart the equipment and get the oil and gas flowing again. The cost of a shutdown for a large facility can be staggering. More than the money, it can cause added stress for the team and wear and tear on the equipment. This incident was more than a technical glitch. It was a failure in communication and a vivid example of how working in silos can lead to a breakdown. To build a cooperative work environment where safety and success go hand in hand, we must understand that every small action is part of an extensive, interconnected system. Being a good communicator is like being a detective. We want to know where the crimes were committed that day. That way, in the event something goes wrong, we know exactly where to look. We often look at each other and say, "Well, let's see what they are working on." Understanding work permits is crucial. Discussions about upcoming tasks are essential for contractors and employees to ensure their success. Within large companies, a designated individual oversees and coordinates work assignments for large groups of employees. Planned and unplanned work requires a permit, a piece of paper requesting key details like names, dates, work areas, contacts, and a general description of the work. The permit uses checkboxes to identify industry-standard hazards like pressure, electrical, and chemical risks. After describing and identifying hazards, the back of the permit outlines the steps in more detail, with an emphasis on hazard mitigation. Permits allow contractors and employees to mentally work through the job beforehand. Once the permit has been completed, the employee signs it and submits it to the respective area and section heads for approval. Copies may be posted centrally to avoid confusion about ongoing work or simultaneous operations. Once the work has been completed, the signed permit returns to the control room to be signed again by the authorizing personnel or equivalent, marking job closure. This facilitates feedback and questions about the job's success, condition upon completion, and any follow-up work required. The problem of silos. Workplace silos happen when teams or departments become isolated and operate independently, often focusing solely on their goals and responsibilities without effective interaction or collaboration with others. This lack of communication can lead to an array of adverse consequences. Safety concerns. Imagine a scenario where you're signing permits for a tank cleaning crew and welders to work in a shared area. Inadequate communication could lead to a situation where the contractors are either unaware of each other's activities or wrongly assume that these activities are benign. A potential hazard arises when welding activities are conducted in close proximity to the tank cleaning. Moreover, the hazards introduced by opening and blinding processes may be unnecessary and could require rescheduling due to the welding. Ideally, this issue should be addressed and resolved before anyone even sets foot on the site. Duplication of efforts or interference with others' work. Poor communication or changeover notes can lead to teams unknowingly repeating completed tasks, from cleaning a vessel that's already spotless to testing alarms in wells that have already been scrutinized. These unnecessary duplicates waste time and resources. For example, I drove for a half hour to a location only to find out that someone had already completed my day's readings. Yes, it's a repetitive job, akin to emptying the contents of your entire fridge to take inventory, then repacking it twice daily, every day of your career. I'm not bothered when someone else handles that task. In fact, I appreciate it. The key here, efficiency. If someone has done the work, they should communicate so we do not burn time and fuel driving there unnecessarily. This type of interference can also disrupt testing and experimentation. For instance, after installing a downhole tool in a well to boost production, we observed an initial positive response. However, this new device caught the attention of other employees who began soaping the well, boosting its output even more. This overlapping activity muddled our understanding of the effectiveness of the downhole tool, providing us with skewed data, a severe problem considering supervisors rely heavily on this data to make decisions. Reduced innovation. When teamwork across different departments falls short, the emergence of innovative ideas can be slow. This could decrease the potential for an organization's growth. Innovative ideas flow from the top down and likewise from the bottom up. With our knowledge of piping, we can complement pipe design, making it more efficient and helping avoid the need for revisions, in some cases outperforming theoretical planning. Field-driven projects can yield significant benefits if communication between the workers and management is open and fluid. Poor problem solving. Such barriers often prevent effective collaboration between various teams or departments, leading to less than optimal solutions. I remember an incident where we spent tens of thousands of dollars to eliminate H2S, a corrosive and deadly gas, from our fuel gas. H2S can be produced when oxygenated surface water, which isn't extracted with the oil and gas, is recycled into the formation. This gives bacteria the necessary substrate to generate the toxic gas. H2S is invisible and flammable, and has the not-so-pleasant smell of rotten eggs. Believe it or not, you can lose your ability to smell it, even when it's super strong. They call it olfactory fatigue. OSHA, Occupational Safe and Health Administration, is clear. Relying on your nose to catch it is a no-go. 100 ppm of H2S, and it's an immediate danger to your life or health. Cross 500 ppm, and you could hit the floor in just 5 minutes. Now, imagine reaching 700 ppm. It's close to an instant collapse, and unfortunately, it could mean lights out in just a breath or two. But just how much is 100 ppm? Imagine you have an Olympic-sized swimming pool that's about 660,230 gallons of water. Now, take a drum, 65 gallons, of blue dye, and mix it into the entire pool. That's roughly equivalent to H2S hitting 100 ppm. Even with such dilution, it's enough to pose an immediate danger. Later, after consulting with the environmental permitting group, we realized we could have applied for a permit allowing us to burn fuel with a higher H2S concentration. Talking to them earlier could have saved us both time and resources. Breaking down silos. To dismantle silos, networking and building relationships are crucial. I often introduce myself to people in different technical roles and inquire about their work. If you are part of a large organization, do not hesitate to reach out. I've interacted with geologists, landmen, engineers, marketing managers, and PR professionals. The wisest step you can take is to learn from those around you. Understand their roles and brainstorm ideas with them. Always be curious. There is no such thing as a dumb question. During one instance, a casual conversation with our IT department led to a partnership with a local university, enabling them to utilize our data for academic purposes while furthering our business insight. This collaboration sprouted from my simple question to our corporate VP, are we doing any machine learning? On another day, our manager's visit opened a window to discuss the flaws in our reporting method, which was heavily spreadsheet dependent. To my surprise, a few weeks later, several corporate executives approached me during a night shift. I feared the worst, but they ended up asking for more details about our reporting process. We transitioned to a new software program 6 months later that reduced our reporting time by half. Based on my experiences, Open dialogue is the best strategy to break down silos and promote the exchange of ideas by